China, with its allies, will going to take over the world at any price. Are you prepared for that? And what can we do about it? So what has happened? Chinese economy has skyrocketed from where it was in the end of the 90s. At that time, Chinese role in the global economy was as follows. Its share of the global trade was about 3%. Today, its share is more than 12%. So it's a huge increase, which actually means also that it has taken the position number one when it comes to the global trade, leaving behind the United States and Germany as a second and third in the global trade business. With that, there is a whopping 4.6 trillion of trade that is run by Chinese economy. Let's look at some factors which are at play when we think about the China of the today and China of the future. The first is about the famous Silk Road strategy, which is essentially a strategy where they have expanded their presence in the globe. And in particular in those parts of the area which actually in the ancient world also covered the Silk Road. And that means Asia, or different part of the Asia, but also Africa, even South America. And those areas have become a very important partners for China. And this partnership is much more than trade. With Europe, with the United States, a lot of trade is going around. Global goods are going back and forward. But with the non-Western country, it's mostly about strategic alliances, building new companionship, bringing in the Chinese money, taking back know-how, raw material, people, all that comes with this type of the partnerships. And now the China has also expanded its Silk Road strategy to virtual Silk Road strategy. Essentially wants to connect all these countries that are within its reach, that are allies to it, to build a global virtual network that has a lot of power. Now, this power is on the rise in a very rapid sense because the Chinese technology, when it comes to the artificial intelligence and machine learning and all that, is highly advanced. They have been putting a lot of money, a lot of investment on them. And with the raw material that is needed for that infrastructure at their disposal, they are much faster. And the difference is crucial to the United States and Europe. In the United States, the role of the government is marginal. The business is running everything. Not so in China. China, the business and the government build a companionship that is inseparable, and that makes the Chinese government and the policy making much more impactful and much more faster if needed. But there is a downside to this development, and that is the Chinese, even being as effective and as powerful as it is, it's also very hierarchically led country. And with that hierarchy sometimes comes a slowness that was very detrimental for them, for instance, in dealing with the pandemic. They're very slow to react to the changes of the virus epidemic, the changes of the new Omicron variant, for instance. They were not able to deal with the new information. And that's always been the problem when you have a very centrally led decision-making process. China needs to be doing something about it, because otherwise it's going to run into much bigger problems, because it can't use the information in its system if it doesn't allow to decentralize their decision making at the highest level of government. And this is not going to happen in the times of Xi Jinping. We can be quite sure about it. This guy has had an intention to centralize the decision making, to also to be rather repressive when it comes to the marginals or the folks that he doesn't agree with. And with that, he's gonna drive China into great trouble. So it's gonna happen after that. The interesting point is that what is gonna happen after the Xi Jinping, and how does this play out in the global environment where China's role is still in the crease, still kind of becoming even more dominant than it has been this far. In fact, the future of China is largely dependent on how the Western coalition will build its own stance towards it. How much the USA and Europe can counteract with this very aggressive strategy that they have built. For Europe, this is particularly an issue of how Europe plays the role of coming up with the type of the innovations that the world needs in the future. When it comes to the materials, when it's got to the new energy, when it comes to the how do we use different biotechnologies, for instance, where Europe has traditionally a lot of strengths. America's strength, on the other hand, is this very diverse and dynamic economy. And with that, they can actually combine their forces, if they wish so, and start to build a definite strategy against this effort of the global dominance of Chinese economy. How will that be played out? We don't know yet, but it's going to be hugely interesting. And whatever will happen, we can be sure that China is the one that is going to be playing the most dominant role in the future of global economy. So, summing up, China came out of being a minor player to become a major and most important global player in our economies of today. This astonishing leap from darkness into the centerpiece is historically unprecedented. Now China wants to move on and build with a new virtual silk strategy, something that we have never seen in the world, which is that they are not combining only their own interest with the interest of their allies, but also connecting them in an ever new way to build this kind of a virtual community that, according to them, will take over the world and will stop the Western dominance as we know it. Subscribe to my channel, share with your friends, check out my other videos, and respond to this question I'm putting for you right now. What do you think is the role that China is playing in the future for the world? Thank you.